I've got to be real with you guys. I don't like a single thing about this. And maybe it's because I've been watching this team for too long. Maybe it's because I've seen too many seasons collapse before they even got started. But this whole situation in Cleveland right now feels wrong. I know some of you out there probably think differently, and that's fine. But let's just tell the truth. The Browns were never going to start Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders in week 1. They weren't even going to consider it. And the only reason the decision looks so easy is because Kenny Pickett went down with a hamstring injury. Otherwise, this would have been a nightmare choice for the front office. And then boom, Jason Kelce drops a bomb on Cleveland. And it's not just another hot take floating on the internet. This one hit like a grenade. Because Kelce isn't just anybody. This is a Super Bowl champion, a respected voice, a guy whose words echo across the entire NFL. And when he looked right at Cleveland's shaky quarterback plan and said, "What are you doing?" the whole league stopped and listened. You want to talk about a wake-up call? This was a brutal one. The kind of moment that makes an owner furious behind closed doors. The kind of moment that exposes every insecurity this franchise has been trying to hide. Cleveland was already living under the weight of failure, haunted by decades of quarterback disasters. And now the whole country sees the cracks. Here's why Kelce's words sting so badly. The Browns should be a team ready to make noise. The defense is loaded. They've got playmakers on both sides of the ball. They even have 2 first-round picks lined up next year. On paper, this is a team that should walk into the season with swagger. But instead of momentum, they look scared. Instead of building bold, they're clinging to safe. And Kelce called it out. This isn't about hating Joe Flacco. Nobody's disrespecting the man. But let's tell the truth. Joe was practically retired. He had one foot in the booth, another on the golf course, and then suddenly out of nowhere, he's QB1. That would be fine if he went out this summer and earned it, but he didn't. He didn't take a single preseason snap. 0. And now he's supposed to lead Cleveland into the AFC North? A division that eats quarterbacks alive? That's not confidence. That's hesitation. That's fear. Look around at the competition. The Bengals are loaded. The Ravens never stop retooling. The Steelers fight harder than their roster says they should every single year. The AFC North is a street fight, and the Browns just showed up with a handshake. That's exactly what Kelce was pointing out. And here's where it cuts even deeper. You've got Shedeur Sanders, a kid with a big name, sure. But more than that, he's got the poise, the accuracy, the leadership traits you cannot teach. You've got Dillon Gabriel. Steady, sharp, no drama, just consistency. Both flashed in. And preseason. Both gave fans a reason to believe. And what did Cleveland do? Well, they shoved them to the back of the line. Shedeur's holding a clipboard. Gabriel's practically invisible. Wasted reps. Lost opportunities. That's not how you develop. Quarterbacks. That's how you bury them. Jason Kelce wasn't just questioning the quarterback. He was questioning the philosophy, the mindset. Because this league doesn't reward teams that play scared. The NFL rewards risk. Look at Kansas City. Look at Buffalo. Look at Baltimore. Those teams aren't afraid to throw a young guy into the fire and see what happens. Meanwhile, Cleveland just keeps duct taping the past over the future. And let's be honest here, this city has lived under the quarterback curse for decades. 30 plus starters in 20 years. 30, that's insane. Fans are tired. They're not just disappointed anymore, they're exhausted. This year was supposed to feel different, and instead it feels like deja vu. And it gets worse, because if Joe Flacco starts slow, if the Browns open against Cincinnati with a 3-and-out, or a couple bad drives, the chants are gonna start. The media will crank up the heat. The whispers in the locker room will get louder. And nothing kills a season faster than doubt creeping in before October. Players feel that vibe instantly, veterans especially. They can smell when a team doesn't believe in its own plan. That's why I keep coming back to Kelce. He didn't rant. He didn't scream. He just calmly asked the question fans have been too nervous to say out loud. Do the Browns even believe in their own future? And that calmness, that almost casual way he called them out, that's what hurts them most. Because now the Browns don't just have to fight the Bengals or the Ravens or the Steelers. They have to fight the perception that their leadership doesn't know what it's doing. And trust me, in the NFL, once people start believing you're lost, at the top, that belief spreads like wildfire. So here's where we're at. The Browns have talent. They have a defense ready to make noise. They've even got 2 first-round picks coming next year. But all of that means nothing if they waste this season clinging to the past instead of building the future. Jason Kelce lit the fuse. Now we get to watch if Cleveland blows up or finally breaks the curse. You guys, what in the world is happening in Cleveland right now? I've been following this situation minute by minute, and I'll be real with you. It feels like the ground is cracking under Kevin Stefanski's feet. The man who's supposed to be the steady hand leading this team suddenly looks like he's the one about to lose everything. And why? Because of how this organization has handled Shedeur Sanders. Let's start with the bombshell. The entire offensive line that Shedeur had in that last preseason game, gone. All of them wiped out. Think about that for a second. We're talking about the same line that left Shedeur hanging out to dry, the same unit that made him look worse than he deserved. And now, in what feels like a desperate attempt at damage control, the Browns cut ties with every single one of them. That's not just a roster move. That's a statement. That's Cleveland saying, yeah, we messed up and we're scrambling to cover it. But here's the real question. Does that move save Kevin Stefanski, or does it expose him even more? Because to me, it looks like a coach who's running out of answers. He stood up there after the game with that shaky voice talking about how he's committed to Shedeur's development, just like all the rookies. But let's be honest, the tone said it all. He's rattled. He's trying to play calm, but every word felt like a man coaching for his job. And if you think I'm exaggerating, listen to what insiders are saying. TJ Houshmandzadeh didn't hold back. He flat out accused Stefanski of having a bias against Shedeur Sanders. Think about that. A former player calling out the coach and suggesting he might even have a personal issue with the rookie quarterback. That's not some casual critique. That's a shot across the bow. TJ said it felt like Shedeur was set up to fail, and honestly, after watching these games, I can't disagree, because here's what makes this so crazy. Go back to that very first preseason game. Shedeur was lights out, calm in the pocket, sharp with his throws, completely under control. He exceeded expectations, no doubt about it. And what did Stefanski do? Did he hype up his young quarterback? Did he give him credit for showing promise? No. He brushed it off with vague coach speak. No excitement, no acknowledgement. Almost like he didn't even want Shedeur's success to be the story. That's when the red flags started popping up for me, and then came the latest game. Instead of putting Shedeur in a position to build off that momentum, Stefanski threw him behind an offensive line that didn't even belong on an NFL roster. Guys who are now already gone. You can't tell me that wasn't setting him up to struggle. And when the struggles came, what did Stefanski do? He pulled Shedeur in the final minutes to put in Snoop Huntley, a guy who was literally signed off the street as an emergency body. And then Stefanski tried to spin it like it was just about getting Huntley some work. Come on, nobody's buying that. The optics are brutal. Fans see it. Analysts see it. Even Ocho Cinco has spoken up, warning that soon the narrative would shift, that Shedeur would be branded a failure, dismissed as some fifth-string quarterback, while the real issue, Stefanski's decisions, get swept under the rug. And honestly, you can already see the seeds of that happening. The difference is this fan base isn't letting it slide. Cleveland fans are furious. They're demanding accountability, and right now all the pressure is aimed directly at Stefanski. And let me tell you, you can see it in his body language. This is not the same calm, confident coach who led the Browns to stability a few years back. This is a man who looks cornered. The way he answers questions, the way he deflects blame, the way his tone wavers. It's the look of someone who knows the walls are closing in. Here's the irony though. In trying to control the Shedeur Sanders narrative, Stefanski may have written his own downfall. He wanted to downplay Shedeur's success. He wanted to frame the struggles as Shedeur's fault. But now it looks like he was never behind his rookie quarterback in the first place. And fans aren't just questioning his coaching. They're questioning his integrity. The Browns releasing that entire offensive line proves one thing. They know the public isn't buying the excuses anymore. They're trying to rewrite the story before it buries them, but will it be enough? That's the million-dollar question. Because the truth is the spotlight is only getting brighter. Every analyst, every insider, every fan with a Twitter account is dissecting this. And the overwhelming consensus, Shedeur Sanders didn't fail the Browns. The Browns failed Shedeur Sanders. So where does that leave Stefanski? To me, it leaves him on the thinnest ice of his career. One more misstep, one more controversial decision, and the calls for his firing are only going to grow louder. And at this point, it feels less like if, and more like when. This isn't just about a rookie quarterback anymore. This is about the direction of the entire franchise. Cleveland has a choice to make. Either they back Stefanski and risk alienating their fans, or they make a change and admit he mishandled one of the most important young players this team has had in years. And let me be real with you, I don't think this storm is going to calm down anytime soon. If anything, it's only going to get louder.